Hello everyone, welcome to the Infosectrain. My name is Ayush and I will be your instructor for this entire session. In this particular session, we are going to discuss interview question specifically on AWS. I am not only going to discuss question answer, but also I will explain the concept so that you don't have to cram these answer. If you learn the concept, then you can easily address interview question and as well as you can structure your own answer. Define key pair in AWS. In AWS, we use a EC2 and EC2 use both public and private keys to encrypt and decrypt the login information referred to as a key pair. And this key pair is a combination of a public key, and we use public key to encrypt data and private key is used to decrypt data. And the public key allows you to securely ingress the instance while a private key can be used as a substitute for a password. Now, what can be the purpose of key pair? A key pair consists of a public key and a private key is a set of security credentials that you use to prove your identity when connecting to an Amazon EC2 instance. EC2 store the public key on your instance and you store the private key. Why we need public key? If someone has a copy of a private key.pam file and you want to prevent them from connecting to your instance, for example, if they leave your organization. So you can delete the public key on your instance and replace it with a new one. But to add or replace a key pair, you must be able to connect to an instance. For that, you must have private key. If you have lost your existing private key or you launched your instance without a key pair, you won't be able to connect to your instance. Okay, so now moving on to the next question. Now explain Elastic Beanstalk and its benefits. So team, Elastic Beanstalk is also called as EBS and is one of the best service offered by AWS for deploying and managing application that compose of various services including EC2, S3, SNS, CloudWatch, auto scaling and Elastic Load Balancer. And it also supports the application developed in various languages such as Java, .NET, Node.js, PHP, Ruby and Python. And Elastic Beanstalk helps developer not to bother about infrastructure or about all these things, how to patch, maintain, update EC2 instances, how to put logs in S3, and about auto scaling and load balancer. All these things will be done by Elastic Beanstalk. And as you can see, there are like lots of languages that are supported by Elastic Beanstalk. So it is really a good service for a developer. Now, Elastic Beanstalk has many benefits such as easy and simple. Now, if you go for a demo or if you want to deploy any application on Elastic Beanstalk, it's really easy and simple. And Elastic Beanstalk also allows you to manage and implement application quickly and efficiently. Second benefit is auto scaling. So Beanstalk scales up or down when the application traffic increase and decrease. And you don't have to get bothered about it. This will be automatically done by Elastic Beanstalk. If we talk about developer productivity, so developers can deploy the application without any prior knowledge. The application must be maintained in a safe and a user-friendly way. And most important thing, cost effective. There are no charges for using Beanstalk. The only charge you have to pay is for the AWS service resources used by your application. Now, for example, if you're deploying an application on M5, so you have to pay for M5, and if you are storing more than 5 GB in S3, then you have to pay for it. But you have to pay for only all these things, but not for using Elastic Beanstalk service. So Elastic Beanstalk is a free service. Now, if it comes to the part of customization, Elastic Beanstalk allows users to select or make changes in the AWS services configurations that user want to use for the development of application. Now, if you have just uploaded your code and you have hosted application, now if you want to do like customization, if you want to add security group of your own choice, or if you want to add DB, that is database, you can do it. And Elastic Beanstalk will provide all these options. Now, if we talk about management and update, Elastic Beanstalk updates the application when it changes the platform. So you don't have to worry about it. And AWS professionals manage the infrastructure and platform update. Now, moving on to the next question. Define NAT gateways. NAT gateway is a network address translation service. You can use NAT gateway so that instance in a private subnet can connect to a service outside your VPC, but external service cannot initiate a connection with those instances. Now, how does NAT work in AWS? The NAT device replaces the source IPv4 address of the instance with the address of the NAT device. When sending response traffic to the instance, the NAT device translates the address back to the original source IPv4 address. And adding on this, if you want to inspect and filter your outbound traffic, you can incorporate AWS network firewall with NAT gateway in your centralized egress architecture. And AWS network firewall is a managed service that makes it easy to deploy essential network protections for all your VPC. Okay, so now moving on to the next question. How will you define ELB? So first of all, ELB, an abbreviation of Elastic Load Balancer, is a load balancing service provided by AWS. It distributes incoming resources and controls the application traffic to meet the traffic demands. Now, how does it work? ELB automatically distributes incoming application traffic across multiple targets and virtual appliances in one or more availability zones. And moreover, ELB is 750 hours free per month between network and application load balancer with the free tier. Now the advantage of ELB. So first advantage of ELB is that it helps you to secure application with integrated certificate manager, user authentication, and SLS and TLS description. Now, second advantage is delivery application with high availability and automatic scaling. Now, third advantage we are having is called as monitoring health and performance of your application in real time, uncover bottlenecks, and maintain SLA compliance. Load balancer improve application availability and responsiveness and prevent server overload. Now team, moving on to the next question. Explain the types of load balancer in EC2. In EC2, there are like three types of load balancer: application load balancer, network load balancer, and gateway load balancer. If we talk about application load balancer, the application load balancer is designed in such a way that it makes routing decision at the application layer. It also supports dynamic host, port mapping, path-based routing. Now, and you can also select application load balancer when you need a flexible features are set for your application with HTTP and HTTPS traffic. Now let's talk about network load balancer. Network load balancer is designed in such a way that it makes routing decision at a transport layer. It handles millions of requests per second. NLB uses the flow hash routing algorithm to select the target from the groups after receiving a connection from the load balancer. And you can choose a NLB when you need ultra high performance or if you have TCP or UDP traffic. Now, if we talk about gateway load balancer helps you easily deploy, scale, and manage your third-party virtual appliances. It gives you one gateway for distributing traffic across multiple virtual appliances while scaling them up and down. Based on demand, this decreases potential points of failure in your network and increases availability. And you can choose gateway load balancer when you need to deploy and manage a fleet of third-party virtual appliances. Okay. Now moving on to the next question. Explain application load balancer. So team, first of all, application load balancer functions at the seventh layer of the open system interconnection, that is OSI model. That is the application layer. After the load balancer gets a solicitation, it assesses the listener rule in need request to figure out which rule to apply. Afterwards, it chooses a target from the target group for the rule action. And our load balancer, it also acts as a single point of contact for clients. Now, moving on to the next question. Explain the working and benefits of server load balancer. First of all, server load balancer works on the following two approaches. First one is transport level load balancing. It is a DNS based approach that acts independently of the application payload. If we talk about DNS based load balancing, is a specific type of load balancing that uses the DNS to distribute traffic across several servers. It is done by providing different IP address in response to DNS queries. Load balancers can use various methods or rules for choosing which IP address to share in response to DNS query. Now, if we talk about application level load balancing, it uses a traffic load to make balancing decision, such as with Windows Server load balancing. Now, the benefits of server load balancers are it can increase scalability, and then second benefit is redundancy, and third benefit is maintenance and performance. Okay, so now let's move on to next question. Now, next question is describe the process to secure the data for carrying in the cloud. The thing that you must be considered while carrying the data are no one must resize data while it is moving from one point to another. Second thing is that there must not be any leakage with a security key from multiple storerooms in the cloud. Third thing is that the secure data in the cloud, to secure the data in the cloud, one must divide the information into different types and encrypt it into valid methods. Now moving on to the next question. Mention the service models in cloud computing. There are three service models in cloud computing. First one is IaaS, that is called as infrastructure as a service. Second one is SaaS, that is software as a service. And third one, that is platform as a service. Now, let's discuss about IaaS. IaaS is basically a self-service model for infrastructure, such as you just need to think about your application, data, runtime, middleware, and OS, and infrastructure will be taken care by cloud service provider. Now, what all things cloud service provider will take care? It will take care of virtualization, servers, storage, and networking, and customer, that is us, are responsible for application, data, runtime, middleware, and OS. And IaaS also comes with pay as you go model. So you need to pay what all services or what all things you are using. And it is also a cloud-based alternative for on-premises infrastructure. And by using IaaS, you can rapidly scale your servers. Now, if we talk about SaaS, that is called as software as a service. If we talk about SaaS, SaaS platform makes software available to users over the internet, usually for a monthly subscription fee. You don't need to install and run software application on your computer. You just need to pay your monthly subscription fee, and you are just good to go to access all that data. And most SaaS providers operate a subscription model with a fixed monthly account fee, and applications are purchased and used online with files saved in the cloud rather than on individual computers. Now, if we talk about PaaS, that is platform as a service, It is the complete deployment and development environment in the cloud. PaaS is primarily used by who are building software and application using built-in software components. A PaaS solution provides the platform for developers to create unique and customizable software. And what can be the example of IaaS? Example of IaaS are EC2, Lambda, Lightsail. Example of platform as a service is Elastic Beanstalk, right? So now moving on to the next question. Explain security group. First of all, security group are the virtual firewalls that control the in and out traffic to instance. They enable you to manage traffic based on several perspectives such as protocol, port, and source and destination. Now there can be a question, can one instance have multiple security groups? Yes, you can apply multiple security groups to a single EC2 instance or apply a single security group to multiple EC2 instance. And from where you can configure security groups, you can configure security groups from EC2 instance.